Welcome to the Movie Pick, where my dad and his co-host do a deep dive on their favorite movies and all the things they love about them. Hope you enjoy this week's Movie Pick, recorded in Jet Studios, and give us a rating, but only if it's a good one.
If you watch it, they will buy it. So welcome in to the Movie Pick. Welcome in, Beav.
Thank you. Great to be here. Excited about this.
Yeah, man. So you are, so the 4 movies you and I have done, we've done Groundhog Day.
Mhm.
We've done Rocky 4. What was the other one?
Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder. And now Field of Dreams. So you've been given like the A-list cast.
I have.
If you think about it, like you want to talk about some of Hollywood's best leading men.
I must rank up real high on the friends list. I guess.
Something. Well, I don't know. I mean, there's Tom Cruise. So you've had Tommy C. Now you get Kevin Costner. We had Bill Murray. And then now I'm blanking on the other one. Stallone. Yeah. When you put the mic in front of you, you blank on things. Like it's weird what it does to you. So this movie came out 1989, May 5th. The 5th of May, Cinco de Mayo, 1989, Field of Dreams. 89, the A's swept the Giants in the World Series.
Yep.
What are some of your first memories of our beloved Field of Dreams?
So I was 10 when this came out, and this is not a movie for a 10-year-old. I mean, it's,
It is, but it isn't.
Well, let me explain.
Not to appreciate.
Yeah. So, like, this movie is way more compelling, as an adult than it is a kid, because you just miss a lot of the nuances and
Sure.
a lot of the things that are going.
Sure.
Like, it meant nothing to me as a kid that he might lose his farm. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
that sort of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Or the what's the right word I'm looking for? Like the specific chain of events that happen.
Sure.
And so as a kid with very little attention,
Yeah.
you miss some of that stuff. So I can honestly tell you, this was not one of my favorite baseball movies until I was in my mid to late 20s.
Oh man. So see, I this was one of the, so for my memories of it, I don't remember life without it. So I was born in 83. This came out when I was 6 years old. So I probably saw it sometime when I was 7 or 8 on TV.
Right.
And so I don't even remember life without Field of Dreams being a baseball movie that I saw every year. Like it's just one of those that has just always been in the pantheon of Dave Mercer movies, And so I've seen this movie a ton of times. Wouldn't say it like it's one of those, like you said, I could almost quote it or go scene by scene with you. I could almost walk you through every scene, but I didn't really get it until a few years ago.
Right.
Like you said, some of the adult themes in it.
Yes.
Yeah. So this same year, listen to this top 5. This is a massive top 5. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was number 5. Number 4 was Look Who's Talking, which I loved that one. Number 3 was Lethal Weapon 2. Number 2, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Which was great.
So that's some people's favorite of the Indiana Joneses.
It's one, definitely. Yeah. I would agree. Actually, it's my favorite.
Yeah. Raiders is my personal favorite. And it's definitely going to be on the docket at some point on this podcast. But I know a lot of people, Last Crusade's their favorite. And then 1989, Batman, Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson. Like that one gets mentioned a lot because that's another one of like if I did Dave Mercer Kid, Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
That movie, I probably wore out that VHS. All right. So some other highlights I did not want to miss. This movie was number 19. But
Wow.
to mention, this is how good of a year it was. These are some of the other movies I wanted to mention that came out that year. That were ahead of it. Back to the Future 3, finished ahead of it. Ghostbusters 2, Christmas Vacation, Little Mermaid. Like this was a phenomenal movie year when you just look at for all ages.
Right. Yeah.
That's why I wanted to mention Little Mermaid, because there was just something for everyone this year that's still a movie we return to.
Right.
All right. So this also had one of the coolest movie posters that I've ever seen. And like when you go back and look at it, because Costner's just one of those cool looking guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any lady I've ever met that's like, nah, pass.
Well, it's funny you said that. So last night when I was watching it, my wife walked by and she's watching,
Yeah.
and she said, I ain't never really thought about it, but he has real honest eyes. Okay.
Go look in the mirror like, how do my eyes look? Do I have lying eyes? Like, what's going on right here? That's funny. But this movie, like everything about it, like what's not to love? So like I listed out just a few things right off the top. You have baseball. Any cold-blooded American, you got to love baseball. Or warm-blooded American, not cold-blooded American. But any warm-blooded American, the reptiles, they love. But so you got to love baseball. This movie has pop culture references everywhere.
Yep.
I mean, like there's the Marilyn Monroe poster hanging in their room. There's also like the John Lennon framed picture in the background. I love when they go back in time. Like that's another one, the time travel.
Mm-hmm.
But when he goes back in time, there's also the Godfather playing at the movie theater. Like some of those little things. There's something for everyone. And then if you know me, like I love a good time travel movie. And this is one of those movies, I don't know about you. When did you pick up on it that this was a fantasy movie?
So probably about the same time that I started, realizing that there was so many deeper concepts in the movie, but also that's one of the things, and I know we'll get into talking about this, but I'll say that as a kid or a teenager watching it, I struggled with it. Is this a dramedy or a drama, or is this a science fiction movie? Is this, how come they can time travel here, or they can do this here, but they can't do that there, sort of thing. And it's just a lot of unanswered questions, and I know we'll get to that, I'm sure. But
yeah, and I think they'll stay unanswered, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's the crazy thing, like because growing up, I just viewed this as a movie,
right?
And just like a serious movie about baseball, and I didn't really again pick up on it. Like just like we talked about with the adult themes, I didn't pick up this is like a kind of a supernatural fantasy movie because he builds a baseball field for ghosts.
Right.
And what are they doing out in the cornfields? And like what are they doing while they're out in the cornfields? Like do they just wait until like, oh, it's 7 a.m. Let's go play a game. Right. Like what's going on out there? And all those things are like the whole Terrence Mann part of it, James Earl Jones's part.
Right.
And the whole, I mean, I know we're going like,
way off into it.
No, we're diving deep into it. But so this was IMDb rated 7.5.
Feels low.
I wrote way too low.
Should be in the mid eights at least.
Here's the crazy thing. It's the highest rated of the Costner baseball trilogy. So you think about For Love of the Game, which was the lowest rated of the three of them.
Really?
Yeah. And then Bull Durham, which he just did a year before this. So Bull Durham was 88. 89 was Field of Dreams. Bull Durham was below it. But listen to this. So it was higher rated than The Natural. It's higher rated than Major League. It's the same exact rating as 42. It's higher rated than 8 Men Out, which was a big, like this movie almost combines to it. Like you could almost watch 8 Men Out, which is about the White Sox, Black Sox scandal. Right. You can almost watch that movie and then watch this right after, which would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then it's higher rated than the Bad News Bears, the original, way higher than the Billy Bob. And then it's rated truly like full 2 points ahead of that one. And then it's higher rated than League of Their Own. So It's got a high rating, but I still think it should have been a little bit higher.
I agree.
And these were the only two movies, baseball movies, I noticed that were rated higher than it. Moneyball at 7.6, and then Sandlot at 7.8. So both of them beat out Field of Dreams. And I don't know if I'm kind of indifferent to that because I love both of those movies too. Like I probably would have bumped all three of them up a little bit.
Agreed.
No. So what'd you feel about the runtime? I wrote down the runtime was 1 hour and 47 minutes.
So yesterday afternoon, I decided, you know what, I need to watch this movie again.
Yeah, you do.
And so it was like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I told my wife, I said, I need to go ahead and start this movie because I think it's like 3 hours long. And I clicked it on there, and mine said 146 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was shocked.
You thought it was way
I
longer.
thought it was way longer.
Yeah. Is that good or bad?
So I honestly think it's good. They just pack so much in such a good way
Yeah.
that and you know, it's not a criticism that it's long. It's just, this is a long developing story to get to the last scene, to everything he goes through, and they move through it quick.
Yeah. And I brought tissues when we get to the last scene.
Oh God, I was a mess last night watching that. I sent you the text. I was like, man, this thing's a tearjerker.
Yeah.
Dude. I forgot how rough this is.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Watch, especially watching it when you have kids.
Yeah.
And just the whole circle. You know, the Lion King circle of life. Like it gets, yeah. Hold the tears. Hold the tears. The great thing about this movie, hour and 47, hour and 46, whatever yours said, could have given me 30 minutes more, honestly. In a whole other subplot. Mm-hmm. Like I could have gone for a whole other subplot. Like give me more Terrence Mann.
I was just about to say that.
Give me more of Annie, his wife. Like I think she played a great part in this movie, and we'll get to her. Like any of them, a lot of those side characters, which I know in the book, which is just based off a book by a guy named W.P. Kinsella. But I know in the book, the brother-in-law had a much bigger role.
Well, and to that point too, I mean, I even thought that, you know, definitely agree with the Terrence Mann thing, but also they could have showed stuff with him and his dad.
Sure.
Like they could have put 20 minutes in that.
But you know, I will say this, and we'll obviously, when we can do this now, because I like so I think with the whole dad part of it, it was perfect. Because
it absolutely was.
They showed you the beginning. Like in the beginning, the dad was the whole intro to the movie. And then he talks about him the whole movie. And I think, you know, again, that initial, like if you can rewind, and it's so hard to do, to go back to the first time you saw it and the initial shock of his dad being the catcher and being there, you know.
Right.
Like, and he had to have been there longer than what Ray even knew.
Sure.
Is what's cool about it.
Well, he was laughing.
Yeah.
Because he winked, because Moonlight Graham winked at the pitcher.
Right.
And
I think that was a different catcher. We may have to fact. I think it was a different catcher at that point. I think that was the White Sox catcher. He would have been on
the other team.
He would have been on the other team. Yeah. Yeah. So I can't. We'll have to fact. You know see what I'm saying?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
No,
it was at least a different actor.
Yes.
But
I think you're right.
But either way, like the whole initial shock of that, I think if they had planted too much of the dad throughout the movie, like they did, it was perfect. They gave you just a little bit, but then you'd forget. Just a little bit more, then you'd forget.
That's true.
You know. But one thing I wrote down, this is how cool the pacing of this, and this is how nerdy I am. Okay. So the opening credits are 1 minute and 34 seconds long. So now you know, if you needed to know. So they're 1 minute and 34 seconds long. Right when he starts, it shows the first picture of his dad as a kid.
Right.
You know, born in 1896.
Mm-hmm.
Had him really late in life. Like when you start doing all the math, I'd never noticed that. But so 1896 is when his dad's born, shows the picture of him right there. It's like less than 2 minutes later, maybe 3, when you're hearing the voice.
Right. Jumps right into
that's straight to it. Like I can watch a good 3-hour long movie all day long.
Right.
But when you get straight to it like that, that's why this movie is so well paced.
Yeah.
But still feels like it packs in a whole lot of story. Because they gave you all the exposition you needed right there in the beginning about his falling out with his dad. And then next thing you know, you're hearing the voice. It's not like a 15 minutes into the movie before you hear the voice.
Right.
All right. So the director, a guy named Phil Alden Robinson, he has a ton of credits as a writer. Like way more. So he's only directed like 5 movies. And this is one of them. Little connection. So, you know, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are rumored to have been in the crowd at Fenway.
Oh, for that game?
Yeah, for the game where Costner and James Earl Jones or Ray and Terrence go.
Okay.
So, like, they were apparently extras in that crowd.
Okay.
So, this guy, Phil Alden Robinson, also directed a movie called Sum of All Fears, starring Ben Affleck.
Okay.
And Ben Affleck came up to him and was like, hey, it's great to work with you again. The director's like, what are you talking about? Like, because he didn't know it. He was an extra.
Right.
You know, like he would have been probably a young teenager.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool, though. He directed one episode of Band of Brothers.
Great.
Yeah. Couldn't go by without mentioning that. All right, Kevin Costner. Like, what? It's not a what more do you say, but like, what are your not thoughts on Costner? We obviously always love Costner, but where do you go when you think about Costner?
Well, so to back up my wife's point about the honest eyes,
Sure.
he's very he's very grounded and he's very believable.
Yeah.
Whatever role he's in.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
In this movie, he's kind of he's playing that role of this trying to think of the word I want to use. He's kind of lost in the farm world.
Yeah.
He's this unknowingly hippie that's ended up on a farm.
Yeah.
And trying to do right by his wife.
Which is really cool.
Yeah. He's trying to do
kind of what
right.
I feel like doing a podcast.
Yeah. And he's, he's just, it's unbeknownst to him that, it almost seems like, and like I said, when I was a kid, the gravity of them losing the farm and, bankrupting and losing all that, it didn't play a whole lot. But even his character didn't even allow that to bog him down.
Right.
And it's almost like this, you just met people that live on a different level than everybody else.
Yeah, I could never see him playing a super nervous character. Like he's always kind of the calm, cool, collected guy.
Oh yeah. He can see more than you can see.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it even fits when you watch like interviews with him, because I watched interviews about this movie or like later on interviews talking about this movie and stuff. And he's just very relaxed. But listen to this. So I listed out like some of the movies just in this era. Like we're not even going to get past 93 or 94.
Okay.
Like just in this era. So 85 was Silverado. Yeah. Untouchables, 87.
Great.
I mean, that's when No Way Out, 87.
Great.
Bull Durham, 88. This in 89. So Tom Hanks was actually the original choice for this, which I could see.
He could have done a good
job. He would have done an awesome job. But the reason why they approached Costner second after Hanks, but they thought Costner wouldn't do it because he had just done a baseball movie. Like they thought that's the only reason they didn't approach. I don't know if that's why they didn't approach him first, but they were hesitant to even approach him about doing the movie because like, well, he just did Bull Durham. He's probably not going to be interested in this. But this is like a totally different. This is like It's a Wonderful Life for baseball.
Yes.
Like a totally different type of movie. And then let's see, Dances with Wolves, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which you and I talked about that. Very flawed, but very fun. Like I'll defend that one all day long. JFK.
JFK was great.
Loved it. Bodyguard, which I saw way too many times when I was like 10 years old. Like I don't know why I was allowed to see that movie so many times. And then I don't know if you remember this one. This is like a forgotten about gem in the Costner mind. A Perfect World.
Yes.
I love that movie. Him and Clint Eastwood.
Mm-hmm.
And that was him playing the bad guy.
Right.
But it turned out to be like the kind of the anti-hero. But yeah, love that movie. And then Waterworld. And it shows you like Waterworld movies like that always make me feel good.
Yeah.
Because as a man or as a person, it just makes me realize everybody makes mistakes. Like Wyatt Earp was in there in 94, which was awesome, but it also got overshadowed by Tombstone.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. But like when you see movies like Waterworld, you look at any of the greats, you look at their filmography.
Yeah.
There's always a few stinkers in there.
There is. Now, I will say, kind of contradicting what we said about his cool character.
Sure. Go ahead.
Tin Cup, he's a little nervous a little bit.
He is. But
Love that movie. Such a good job.
Love that movie. Great Don Johnson part.
Yes.
Like everybody in that movie. Renee Russo, Cheech Marin. I mean, they're all like, that's just a fun movie.
He hates babies. Was it an old people or something?
Yeah. Great movie. Great movie.
Yeah.
Then we've got recent Oscar winner, Amy Madigan. Like if we had done this movie 2 weeks ago, we wouldn't be calling her that. But she just won an Academy Award, literally like 2 weeks ago.
For what?
It's some horror movie that came out last year. I won't see it. If you look it up, she looks, I wouldn't have even recognized her. Like the makeup looks crazy. But I just knew her from this and Uncle Buck.
Yep.
Like, I mean, I know I saw her in other things, but when I saw her face, it immediately went to Uncle Buck every time.
Yeah.
Every time. Let's talk about a turn of like two different, she was connected romantically to Kevin Costner in this, and then connected romantically to John Candy in the other. That's a turn of events.
Very much so.
Yeah. And then Gabby Hoffman, also in Uncle Buck, played their daughter.
Mm-hmm.
This was her first movie, though. Her very first movie was Field of Dreams.
And Karen, right?
Yes. And she was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not just the cute little kid, but she was just really good at it.
Yeah.
Like I think that my favorite part of hers was not the end when she's like, people will come, like saying all that. But I think it was when Ray asks her when he's talking about Shoeless Joe, how can you explain him hitting a home run in the World Series and all this stuff if he threw? I can't. I think it was just such a honest answer.
375.
Yeah. How can you explain that? I can't. Yeah, it was great. Like that sounded like a true little kid's response, not like something she read off of a script.
Right.
It was great. It was great. And then tell me how you feel about our guy James Earl Jones.
Well, shoot. He's incredible. And the voice alone, and we know the voice from
Moonlight Graham.
Yeah. In this movie, he was, and I don't know this, but I wonder if the director said, I need you just to be unpredictable.
Sure.
Because how the whole sequence, like just every area of the movie he was in, the things that came out of his mouth, and the actions that you thought he was going to do one thing and he did something else.
Yeah.
And so he was very unpredictable throughout, which was entertaining. But one of my favorite scenes in the movie is where they're in the place and they're looking up the Moonlight Graham stuff.
Sure.
And he's talking. He said, "You wrote this," and he said, "You're a good writer."
Yeah.
And she taps him on the shoulder and she says, "Well, you are too."
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So, I that was very endearing, but no.
And he acted that scene so well. Like he just looks over, didn't say a word.
Oh yeah.
But you could see like the character appreciated her saying that.
Yes.
That's a good point.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Again, it's just not what you thought could happen or would happen. But no, and of course, if you want to talk about any of his other movies or any of the other things, he's in one of your other favorite baseball movies too.
Sandlot all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
but you're going to talk about some iconic roles, which, he had a lot of movies where you just didn't even notice the movie. Like he was in a lot of movies that weren't that big of a deal.
Right.
But he was Mufasa in the Lion King movies.
Yep.
He was in the Sandlot, like we mentioned. He was in this. And then obviously Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, those are just 4 big ones right there. Like 4 huge. Those are mammoth movies right there. And that's not even talking about, what's the one I'm leaving off? Coming to America.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but if you took his Mount Rushmore, those other 4 probably.
Oh yeah.
His Rushmore. And that just speaks like he's one of those. He wasn't in a ton of things that you love, but everything you love that he was in, he was a big part of it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Did I say that right?
You did.
Yeah. I can say things wrong a lot, so that's why. All right. I was watching a video. And they pronounced it Liotta, but I'm going to go with Ray Liotta, like I've always heard my entire life.
I've heard him pronounce it Liotta.
Yeah. As Shoeless Joe, like anytime I see Ray Liotta in a movie, like we all had that kid's house that we went to that their dad kind of intimidated us.
Oh yeah.
I get intimidated by Ray Liotta, like through the screen. Like, I'm like, what's that guy thinking?
Well, did you see him in Goodfellas?
Maybe that's why. Like, this was probably my intro to Ray Liotta. More than likely, I would say that this was. But yeah, there's something just always, which he passed away a few years ago, but there's always something just kind of scary about him. Yeah. And he didn't mean that. He had a great, and we've talked about this before on the pod, like Willem Dafoe. Yeah. Great bad guy face. Like,
for sure.
Ray Liotta could turn on that bad guy face really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Really quickly. But Burt Lancaster, one of your guys.
Yes. Yeah, he was fantastic.
Yeah. Him and Frank Whaley both did a good job.
Yes.
But you noticed something interesting about little height difference.
Yeah, so, and I didn't look this up to see what their heights was, but Burt Lancaster's got to be 6'3", right?
Yeah, he looks it. On screen, he looks it.
And Whaley's got to be, what, 5'8", 5'10"?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, like you said, he's kind of a doppelganger from Rob Schneider.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. And to the kid's defense, he kind of slumped over. I was trying to, you know how when somebody walks beside and you're trying to gauge their height.
Sure.
But yeah, he did. He looked, and I was looking at Burt Lancaster's filmography.
Yeah. Got a ton of stuff.
Oh yeah. He incredible. And you know, at that stage in 1989, you know, they all probably treated him like the legend he was, you know, but he's got it, especially in this movie, you know, James Earl Jones has got that booming voice.
Yeah.
He's got that.
Yeah.
So does Burt Lancaster.
Yeah.
He's real smooth. He's real, you know,
yeah.
And he kept saying the phrase, I got to get back to Alicia. She thinks I got another woman. But it's just real classy, just a real classy guy. But yeah, no, he's fantastic.
And both of them played the part so well.
Yes.
And you could, and I'm talking about Frank Whaley and Lancaster.
Yes.
And you could see little glints of like, I hope that they met together
and talked about it.
Yes, because you could see like when he said that about winking at the pitcher when he was talking to Ray, the older version of Archie or Doc Graham. We'll call him Doc Graham and Archie. That keeps it, you know. So yeah, Doc Graham was telling Ray, you know, he'd just like to look at the pitcher one time, give him a wink, you know, and you could feel it. Like, even though it seemed like a totally different character, it seemed like the 50-year younger version.
Right.
Like where, you know, when you get a little older, you just become more mature, more humbled, all those kind of things, where he was still kind of a hotshot kid, you know, winking at the pitcher and saying, yeah, throw the fastball. Let's see what I can do with it. You know, talking junk. It's like, maybe settle down.
Right.
But yeah, I thought they both did a really good job with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And he was a real baseball player.
Yeah, that helps.
Moonlight Graham.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we looked that up. There was, he really had one at bat. And it was, now in the movie, I think they said it was 1922.
Yeah, they had
Yeah. Yeah, they probably had to move it around for the years for it to make sense. But in real life, it was 1905. And I can't remember what team he played for.
New York Giants.
Yeah, that's right. Good job. So some interesting little trivial things about this movie. And if I say one, and if you've got one, pop off with it, interrupt me. Okay. But you know the scene when Joe Jackson, Shoeless Joe, is talking about, you know, they're about to start the game. And he said how Ty Cobb wanted to show up, but none of them liked him.
Right, yeah.
So Joe Jackson and Ty Cobb are actually really good friends in real life. So that was kind of a little, you know, meta moment, just a little inside joke, because they were actually friends. Another thing I noticed, now this isn't like background trivia. Let's talk about Ray's dad for a second.
Okay.
And what was his name? John?
Jonka.
Okay.
Yeah. So
he was a fan of the White Sox for 1 year, right? Because then they commit the whole Black Sox scandal.
Right.
Or he's he was one year before they commit that.
Okay.
And then later on becomes a Yankees fan. There's a character flaw there. I don't know if I like a guy that switches teams later on in life. Now, if it was like, this is one of my favorite teams, but you know me, I think you be as loyal as you can. We've talked about this before.
Well, so
I know you weren't expecting me to talk trash about his dad being a bandwagon fan.
No. I'll say it like this.
Sure.
As somebody who, I've never betrayed my sports teams.
Okay? Sure.
But I've been on the verge many times.
Oh, yeah.
So like when you know, when Alabama fired Mike Shula.
Sure.
I was like, I ain't never going to be a Bama fan. Then they hired Nick Saban and it changed everything.
Yeah. It worked out for the better.
Worked out for the better. But I'll say this. Imagine that, you know, your team is a bunch of traitors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and they've cheated and they've been busted, and
Sure.
so that actually tracks.
I think it was later on in life though that he switched to being a Yankees fan. I think it's when they moved. I could be wrong. I think because they went to Chicago first, then I think he moved to New York and then became a Yankees fan.
If that's different, then
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
But you got to consider too,
Either way,
they didn't have TV.
that's true.
So if you was going to go watch a game, you'd have to go watch whatever team was there.
Yeah, but you know me, like I would just wait until the White Sox were in town and go watch my Sox. That's just me. You stay loyal, thick and thin. Now you can have other teams that you like.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a huge Braves fan, but I like the Red Sox.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's other teams I like, but just they're not going to replace them. All right. Original title of the movie was Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
But did you read this? That people didn't like the name of it?
So I didn't know that part. That people didn't like.
Yeah. So now the book is still called that. Like if you look it up, but people didn't like the name of it because they're like, oh, it sounds like a hobo. It's like, okay. So they changed the name.
Funny.
Yeah. And I guess it's probably because of like Joe Jackson, for as great of a player as he was, is not like Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, that household baseball name.
Well,
does that make sense?
Yeah, but the reason for it is because of the Black Sox scandal.
Yes. But I think if it was like Shoeless Babe Ruth, people would have been like, oh, okay. That makes sense.
Right. Well, I mean, let's just be honest, that as great as Barry Bonds is,
yeah,
he's gonna go underappreciated.
Sure.
Because he's tarnished.
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
Sorry to bring that up.
Yeah. It just hurts. Salt in the wound. Salt in the wound. So deleted scenes. There was like 5 or 6 deleted scenes of this.
I did not get to see any of that.
Okay. I didn't watch them, but I just read about them.
Right.
And I saw a little clip of one of them. But the coolest one, and I'm kind of okay that they left it out, but it would have been interesting to have. Ray goes and gets his hearing checked. Like he goes to the doctor to get his hearing checked, which would kind of be normal because did you notice a little, I can't remember who sings the song, but when he goes, he hears the voice. He's asking Annie and Karen if they hear it, and they're like, no, I don't hear anything. Then he goes inside, they're talking about it. And then he goes to the market or goes to, the store and he's buying stuff and he's trying to ask them about hearing voices.
Right.
And the song Crazy is playing in the background. Did you pick up on that?
Yes.
Love that little, just hit at home moment. But I think we could have done with that scene of him going to the doctor's office, but also could have done without it. So it was like a fine if you do, fine if you don't kind of thing. The if you build it, he will come is one of the most misquoted movie lines.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people say it, if you build it, they will come. It's a he will come. But it was voted as the number 39 movie quote by AFI, American Film Institute.
Interesting.
I would have thought it'd been a little bit higher. Just because it's kind of like, it's a big part of the movie, obviously, just that quote. Another little thing I thought was cool about the movie. So the corn grew way too fast.
Mm-hmm.
Because, did you see this?
No, I didn't see it. But
so Iowa was in a drought.
Yeah.
So they would like water the corn. And so the corn then grew too fast. So if you go and look, there's some scenes where like it doesn't show Costner full body. It's because he's standing on like a platform. Because he had to, just for you to even be able to see him, because the corn got taller than him. But just thought that was pretty interesting.
That is interesting.
And the shot of Ray Liotta hitting the ball back at him, when he says like, let's see if you can hit the curve.
Yeah.
That was luck. Like it wasn't planned for him to hit the ball back at him. But Costner just kind of stayed in character, like, yeah, I guess you can, or whatever he said, which is a great scene.
Yeah, one of the great lines. He's like, hey, we need a catcher. He's like, not if you throw it over the plate.
I love that line. Love that line. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a pro baseball guy, right?
100%. Yeah.
So I was actually just having this conversation with somebody. It's like, that's why we go to these ball games, because these guys are on a whole nother level.
Sure.
Anybody can cook. Not everybody's a chef.
Sure.
And
Sure.
it's that same way with pro athletes. And when you watch it, it looks different when they do it. Sort of thing. And yeah.
Just watching them warm up, just watching them pass.
Yeah.
Like when you see the outfielders just tossing to each other
Mm-hmm.
and how effortless, like, you'll usually like the center fielder will be past the left fielder and then the right fielder's passing with like the bat boy or whatever. Like, and they're just kind of warming up, just, keeping their arm loose. And just watching them throw it, like, as far as they're throwing it and as hard as they're throwing it, I would have to give everything that my body has.
So,
And still wouldn't make the distance nor the speed or accuracy.
So just recently, Bo Jackson is quoted as saying that if you could take most Major League Baseball players and put them in other pro sports, he said, but you couldn't take those guys and let them stand in 100-mile-an-hour baseball.
Oh,
They'd
yeah.
never touch it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would just run. Like, it would take one pitch and I'd be like, you know what?
So
It's good. It's a good run.
So our friend Michael Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Michael hit 93, 94.
Yeah.
And you stand in there, and I don't know how anybody doesn't flinch when somebody.
Sure.
You stand there, they're throwing the ball at you. I mean, it's in front of you, but it's at you.
Right.
And yeah, it's something goes very unappreciative.
Yeah.
That somebody throw that hard. Now they're throwing 102, 103 mile an hour.
Right. And so much movement on it
Okay.
that it looks like it's coming at your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, do they know where it's going?
Yeah. A lot of times, no.
Right.
A lot of times. Well, by the time they get to the majors, usually they do. But I would not want to be in Double A. That's where I would not want to be, because those guys have that same velocity and they're just throwing it everywhere.
Well, you remember we went to the Reds game and Aroldis Chapman was throwing, and we were sitting there flinching.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She was hitting like 103. Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah. But so this movie came out only 6 months. I did not realize this, after 8 Men Out.
Interesting.
So, like, if you count, like, not just quality of baseball movies, because you had Bull Durham, you had 8 Men Out, and then you had Field of Dreams all back to back to back. But the fact that this came out like 6 months before, I thought that was really neat. They couldn't have timed it any better. And I don't think it was on purpose. It just like happened to be how it landed. So this always weirded me out. Doc Graham's wife.
Okay.
Name was Alicia.
Mm-hmm.
So she would have been born around 1915.
Okay.
When I did all the math and everything. Okay. So I looked it up. If she was born around 1915, there was only like 75 Alicias born in the U.S. in 1915. So he found one of the 75 that were born. I just thought that was an interesting thing, because it never fit like the time frame of names. Like, that was not a very You see what I'm saying?
But is that not an Italian name?
It might have been, but you get what I'm saying. Like, the part of it seemed like he would be like, oh, Mary, I married Mary, or Susan, or Gladys.
No, it's a good point.
Yeah, like even as a kid, I was like, Alicia. It just, again, threw me off. And I thought that was interesting that there was only 75 people born in 1915, according to some kind of census that I looked up, that were named Alicia.
Interesting.
That's kind of hard-hitting facts you get here. You don't come here to talk movies. You come here to talk names. But did you notice the hot dog price at Fenway?
Was it a quarter?
$1.50.
It was $1.50.
Yeah. Living the dream.
Which still seems high for 1989.
Yeah. So, road trips.
Okay.
You all like a good road trip.
You do?
It's really where you get to know people. Like, it's actually one of my favorite, like, there's all these little things you can do in a movie. There's like, buddy comedies. There's all this, like all that kind of stuff. One of my favorite things in a movie is a road trip. Like, I love seeing road trips in a movie. What do you think? We saw a little bit of Ray and Terrence's conversations, but what do you think most of their conversations were about? Have you ever thought about that? Like, they spent a lot of time in that VW.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure that Ray got to talk a lot about his dad and talk about baseball, and because that's probably what Terrence wanted to know. And I'm sure that Terrence talked about civil rights and all the books he wrote, because that's probably what Ray wanted to know.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I figured it was like an awkward silence ride. Like, just a lot of silence.
Yeah, I don't know, though. And it could have been.
They're both really interesting people.
Well, so here's why I would say that it was probably not. Because they were very much brotherly.
Sure.
By the time they got to Iowa.
Good call.
You know what I'm saying?
Good call.
They wasn't being a smart aleck to each other.
No.
He wasn't trying to rob him with his finger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I
love that, by the way.
Oh, God.
Like,
That whole
What is
scene,
that? What is that?
It's
my gun.
The whole dialogue of that scene from the time he knocks on the door until they get in the van is fantastic.
Peace, love, dope. Like, yeah, the whole thing. Like James Earl Jones.
You're a hippie.
Yeah. Oh, go back to the 60s. And I don't even know what he's spraying
No,
at
it's
him.
bug spray.
Is it bug spray?
It's bug spray.
Man, I never knew what he was spraying at him, but I was like, I don't know what this is, but I love it. And as a kid, though, like I remember that scene always bothered me as a kid because I'm like, why don't you just trust Ray?
Yeah.
Because I don't understand adult life.
Yeah, you don't understand that he was a public figure and everybody pulled on.
Yeah, and some guy just shows up.
Yeah.
And is like, I just want to take you to a baseball game. And I love, it's not my favorite Terrence moment, not my favorite James Earl Jones moment, but I love when he starts quoting his own book to him when Ray does.
Yeah.
And he turns around and he's smiling.
Right.
He's like, you're a hippie, you know? like you said, but just his face when he turns around, like at first you think, oh, he got him.
Yeah.
You know, he quoted his book to him.
Yeah. Not at all.
And he got him. Yeah. Don't blame, what is it? Don't blame me because you didn't play catch with your father.
That's one of my favorite lines. So yeah, they're right. He's telling me that he quit playing catch with his dad at the age of 14. He's like, so what happened at 14? He's like, I read The Boat Rocker by Terrence Mann.
Yeah.
Don't be blaming that on me.
I love it. I love it. So interesting thing about Burt Lancaster as Doc Grant. Okay. This was his final theatrical movie.
Okay.
But Jimmy Stewart passed on the role.
Interesting.
Could you imagine? I mean, Jimmy Stewart would have done great.
Mm-hmm.
He would have done, this didn't take anything away from Lancaster. Jimmy Stewart was a phenomenal actor in his day. So he would have done just as well. Like you have to think like, you know, he would have done just as well. But they did kind of make a meta moment of that. There was a Jimmy Stewart movie playing when Karen was sitting at the table.
That's right.
And it was some movie about like an imaginary rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
I looked it up. It was a movie about an imaginary rabbit that Jimmy Stewart sees.
Yeah.
But could you imagine if Jimmy Stewart, with all the legendary movies that he had, if he would have had It's a Wonderful Life and Field of Dreams? Like,
oh yeah,
you want him like having both of those and kind of bookending his career with that. Like,
absolutely,
that would have been crazy. Now it worked out the way it worked, and we're all good for it because Burt Lancaster was incredible. But I think you could have plugged Jimmy Stewart right in there just as good. Just as good. So, you ever read much about The Voice?
I can't say that I have.
Yeah. So, in the credits, have you ever looked at the credits? It's credited The Voice as himself. It does not tell you who the actor is that plays the voice. No one has ever come out and said who the actor is that plays the voice.
So is it Kevin Costner?
There's 4 rumored that it was. Now this one's funny, and I forgot to mention Timothy Busfield, which was Ray's brother-in-law, which was Annie's brother. So in that, when Burt Lancaster has a scene with it towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
Burt Lancaster didn't know he was an actor and was like asking him to go get stuff out of his trailer, all this things. Just thought that was kind of funny. Like, I don't know, you kid. But so it's rumored that he's the voice. That's like the lowest rumor. Ray Liotta is rumored to be the voice. Sounds nothing like his pronunciation.
Right.
Like if you go back and...
I think it sounds like Costner more than anything.
Kevin Costner's rumored to be the voice. But here's my favorite rumor. And this is the one I think it is Ed Harris is the voice. And I've actually heard that one for a long time. Because, he's married to Amy Madigan in real life, the lady that played Annie. Yeah. They've been married since like the early 80s.
Yeah.
So it would have been nothing for him to show up on set. And, he only had 3 lines. Go the distance, ease his pain, and if you build it, he will come. And they never changed it. It wasn't like it, he wasn't like, if you build it, hurry. Like it wasn't like they changed the pronunciation.
Right.
It was like the same thing over and over again. So it's still one of those rumors. And I think the highest at the list are Ed Harris and Kevin Costner as far as being rumored to be the voice. Now, speaking of voices and words that you can cut out. So this movie was not like terrible, but could have used a little bit of filtering. And it is available on VidAngel. We're an affiliate of VidAngel. So if you use our promo code movie pick 1215, it gets you 30 free days instead of 7 free days. So you can always get 7 free days. But with our promo code, you can get 30 free days. So again, it's movie pick 1215. And it allows you to filter movies that are available on Prime, Netflix, Peacock, Paramount, and Apple. So it's actually like a ton of them. And one of my favorite bonuses of it is it holds all the movies together on one app. So you're like paying $10 a month also, not for the filtering, but I've got all of my Netflix, all of my Prime, all of those movies together on one app where I'm not flipping back and forth. So, Beaver, what do you know about the 1919 World Series Black Sox scandal?
So, 8 Men Out did not make my Rushmore, but it was the first honorable mention.
Sure,
so I've seen that.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I've seen it. So based off of that movie, Kaminsky, the owner, basically was buffaloing the players and not paying them what they wanted, and so that. And you got to keep in mind too, back in those days, the money those guys were making, a lot of the dock workers were making the same kind of money.
They had to have other jobs.
Yeah, a lot of them did. So they realized they were making this guy rich, and they wanted to stick it to him.
Well, and so they have like a little reference to this in this movie.
Yes.
He talks about the lots. He's like, what's with the lots?
Right.
Well, all stadiums have them because owners felt like more people could come after work or whatever he says. Yeah. And then, Ray Liotta was like, owners, like real sarcastically.
Yes.
So.
Correct. So, I can't remember the pitcher's name, but he was one of them that got banned, and they could look at the stat sheet and see that he had threw the game.
Sure.
Again, you already mentioned it. Shoeless Joe Jackson batted .375, had a homer and some RBIs, and there's no evidence that he threw the game, but he took the money.
Right.
Because
which is just as
it's just as bad.
Yep.
He knew about it. He was complicit, and now, and I'm not sure if this is actually true or not, but I think Kaminsky lost a lot of money on the World Series because he bet.
Interesting.
I that might be worth fact checking, but I think that was one of the reasons.
No.
They wanted to do it was to hurt him and make some money.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, okay, here's the list. I just looked up the list of the guys. I may mispronounce some of these names because there's some hard ones in here. So there's obviously Joe Jackson. Eddie, it looks like Kokoti is what it looks like. Chick Gandil, Swede Riceberg, Buck Weaver, Lefty Williams, Happy Felsch, and Fred McMullen were the guys that were banned. So that would have been all the guys that were in this movie being portrayed. Did you know it was a best of 9 series?
I did.
I did not. So they've done that like 4 times. They did it in 1903, and then they they did it 3 years in a row. So they're probably thinking about changing it. So it was 1919, 1920, and 1921 were best of 9 series. I didn't even realize that until I was looking some of this stuff up a little bit.
Right.
And that was all just in an effort, talking about the owners, to extend it and make a little more money.
Right.
Kind of like, college football is going to get to a 50 team playoff at some point. Yeah.
Well,
like if you just played a game, you're in the playoffs.
They keep adding extra games, same way the NFL.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah. Now, one thing that was really cool about this, again, when I was a kid, I thought Joe Jackson was made up for the movie. But he did have a 12-year career. He played longer than what I thought he played. He did bat .356, like Ray said. And if you're counting just MLB and not the Negro Leagues, if you're just counting MLB, he's still number 3.
Yeah.
Now, if you're counting total, I think he's like a little bit lower. So, but if you're counting just MLB stats, he's still number 3 lifetime batting average. Just thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, the real Field of Dreams. There's been 2 MLB games played there. Would love to go there.
So, have you heard the Vin Scully?
No.
So, the line where James Earl Jones says, Ray, they will come.
Yeah, people will come, Ray.
Vin Scully reads that. They've got it recorded. Cool. So before every game with Iowa, the last 2 times they'll play that.
Nice.
It's great.
Nice.
Great.
So the first one, they called it a stalk-off because Tim Anderson hit a home run for the White Sox to win. It was White Sox and Yankees. Is that not cool?
It's great.
Like, I remember that happening. I just didn't realize that the nickname for it had become a stalk off instead of a walk off home run.
That's hilarious.
It's whole. Now, this is cool. 8,000 person seat stadium. That would be an awesome venue to watch a baseball game.
Oh yeah, and you know it's got the spring training vibes to it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, they still host, like, I was looking it up. Now, you can go there and visit it, because you can go there and visit the farmhouse. You can go, you can go play catch on the field, like all the stuff. My parents have been there. They host baseball events, like they call it the Moonlight. This will hurt. The Moonlight Graham Classic for 50+ seniors. Getting close. Getting close.
Hurts a little
Yeah. And then they have like youth softball and baseball rec leagues. That would just be so cool to play there.
Cool.
I
want to talk more about this field.
Go ahead. Have at.
Before I do,
Yeah, go ahead.
So I know we're going to get into our list of our favorite baseball movies at some point.
Sure.
Isn't it interesting how many of these guys have crossover baseball movies?
Well, so like
Costner, James Earl Jones,
sure,
Timothy Busfield,
sure, Charlie Sheen.
Well, I'm talking about in this movie though. These characters, they're all in this movie, and then they have other baseball movies that are in our top. Well,
yeah,
my top 10 anyway.
Yeah. Well, James Earl, not even a baseball fan. That's what's funny.
It is crazy.
It hurts a little bit, but
hurts.
Not even a baseball fan. I mean, I don't know if he hated it.
Yeah.
But he was not a fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So back to the baseball.
Yeah. But now one thing too, though, is like one thing that makes sense about Costner being in all three of the baseball movies he was in. The guy's a natural athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can tell when he's pitching the ball.
Yes. Oh yeah, for sure.
The same thing as when Charlie Sheen could actually pitch.
Oh yeah, he could hit mid-80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so in Major League, they didn't have to do any kind of camera work doctoring.
Right.
Like, he could just go throw. Now, they made it look faster because he couldn't hit the like 99 of 101.
Yeah, they moved him a little closer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But as far as like the motion of pitching, Charlie Sheen was an athlete and could throw. So it made sense for him to be an 8-man out and Major Leagues. And, sometimes I think people are just like a fan of a certain thing. Like, yeah, like me, I would have been, if I was an actor, my whole career would have been nothing but baseball movies and superhero movies. Like,
right.
Those two things. That'd have been it. So, like, is it baseball? I'm out. Is it superhero? Yeah, or whatever. You know what I'm saying.
Yes.
So now, let's get some of the questions this movie brings up.
Well, can I get back to the
baseball field? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah,
so,
please.
The baseball field. So, and I know this is going to lead into what you were about to say anyway.
Sure.
Questions.
Sure. We call it a segue.
So is the baseball field magic?
I don't know. This is a good place to start. We're going into some questions.
Yes.
So
obviously some could see them playing and some couldn't.
Is it heaven? No, it's Iowa.
And what is the deal with the foul line?
Yeah.
Because Costner walked over it back and forth, and they all seemed to go back and forth with it, and it was not a thing. And then Moonlight Graham, who they didn't pick up at the baseball field,
sure,
rode with them all the way there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then
time traveling Moonlight Graham.
Yeah, yes. And then once he gets there, he crosses the foul line
to get there. I think once he was there, though, he had to stay. It was like, oh, you crossed the gravel. Now you're across the gravel. You've got to stay over there. Once you come back over. Yeah, 'cause I don't think they stopped to eat. I don't think they stopped to sleep. They just went off to fade into the distance.
Here's the weird part for me.
Oh, there's a lot of weird things, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay. It makes my head hurt.
Sure.
About this.
This is the chicken and the egg stuff. Yeah.
So you have young Moonlight Graham.
Sure.
Crosses the line and goes play baseball.
Uh-huh.
But then they tell him, if you cross the line, obviously going to turn back to his old self. But then he goes back over the line and goes into the corn stalks and disappears.
Yeah. Well, because he was already dead.
He was dead before.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, like, once he was back to old man Graham, once he was back to Doc Graham, like, no, I mean, this is the circle. You know what I mean? Like, it's the circle that is like unanswerable question. Like, I'm sure there's answers, but honestly, sometimes I will research these movies so much and then I get ruined.
Yeah.
Not ruins the movie, but it ruins the podcast because then you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Over info.
Yeah, and I would rather like talk it out and actually talk about what we feel.
Yeah.
And so like those are quite, I don't know. I mean, he was already dead. He time traveled. He got his at bat. He was good to go. Like he just wanted to hug the bag one time, get that triple. But so was Ray. Was he fair to Annie? Was he a good husband here?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely not.
She has one big moment in the movie.
Yeah.
One big moment where she stands up for the books.
Yeah.
And is like anti-book burning. Gets everybody to stand up, which, I mean, her lines of sales were, she's like, is everybody, who wants to spit on the Constitution? Like, she's like getting everybody to raise their hands up. Like, well, of course, nobody wants to do that.
Right.
Who's for the Bill of Rights? She's asking the obvious questions that, as a salesperson myself, always annoy me when people ask questions they already know the answer to. Wouldn't you like a car that runs? Well, of course I would. But like when you think about it, she had one moment.
Yeah.
And the whole time Ray's just sitting there doodling on the newspaper, writing down ease his pain.
Yeah.
And she's been the epitome of support.
Yes.
Through this movie. Like, oh, you want to knock out? Oh, go ahead.
Well, it's her family farm.
Yeah.
That he's squandering away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to knock out however many acres of our farm to build a baseball field without any team. Like there's nobody showing up. And how long did they go? Which also ticks me off a little bit at Joe. So they build it and it's warm, right? Because he's out there and it's in Iowa. So, I mean, you're going to have some cold weather in Iowa. So they build it, I'm guessing probably August or September-ish, the year before. And then we see Christmas. Everybody's over at the house, Christmas time. And then it's at least until April when Joe shows up. Because Karen asks, Daddy, what's a southpaw?
Right.
Because she's watching a baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
Good girl.
Yeah.
Good girl. Great girl. I can't. But, so you've got at least, I would say, 8 months there from the time he builds the field.
Yeah.
Joe waits. If we're talking about supernatural Joe here, that maybe can hear, he waits until they're like having the meeting that every married couple has had, right? Like we've all sat down at some point and looked at our finances and said like, hey, things are good. Or, whoa, need to cut back.
Yeah.
Right. Or what's happening here? Where do we, every married couple or every couple has had that conversation.
Yeah.
So they're sitting down having that stressful conversation. And she's like, we might lose the farm if we keep the field. And then all of a sudden Joe's like, you know what? I'll take this time to show up now.
Right.
Come on, Joe. Like, couldn't have shown, like, she's like, Daddy, like trying to get his attention. There's a man out on the lawn.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and everything is so cryptic.
Oh yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. Like, was Joe just like watching in on the house the whole time?
Well, and even the clues, and obviously Joe was in on the clues. He knew them.
Oh, Joe knew what was going on.
And so.
Come on, Joe.
Yeah. Well.
Which brings me to a good point of, Ray was not supportive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, she has her big moment. Ray's like, hey, let's go back out here in the hall and talk about whose pain I've got to ease.
Yeah.
Like he's wanting to go out there when she just won her argument, kind of her big moment for the whole movie. And he's like, sorry, Madigan, you're out of here. But how well did you identify with Ray? We're kind of leading into Shoeless Joe's entry, like his introduction scene.
So.
And Ray hits the ball.
Yeah.
I can't even get it out of the.
Sorry.
Like
I'll do better.
That was probably my moment that I identified the most with Costner. Like, yeah, that'd been me.
Mm-hmm.
That'd been me right there. But go ahead with what you were gonna say.
Well, no, even well, that moment. I'll speak to that moment now. Say
sure.
What I was going to say.
Sure.
So there are parts where Kevin Costner, his character is completely unrelatable.
Yeah.
And then there's other parts that you go, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with the dad.
Sure.
And
sure.
And, negligence, and we can call it whatever, but he was quite negligent with his his wife, his family.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was like for the greater good.
Sure.
It didn't, didn't know that's what was going to happen, but it ended up being for the greater good.
Well, at Christmas time, he's just sitting there at the window, like they're in the background opening gifts and having fun, and he's looking out at his baseball field.
Right. And sometimes with dreamers, that was the word I was looking for a while
there you
ago.
Go. Fits the movie.
Well, it fits the movie for sure. But, and I can't say that you're a dreamer or I'm a dreamer like some dreamers we know.
Sure.
And it wouldn't matter what you said to those people.
Yeah.
If they're going to die on that hill. If
sure.
it's something they believe and they know it's true, you're never.
Right.
And then that scene where she tells him about her dream.
That scene annoys me too. At her.
Yeah. Yeah. She's been holding on to this whole time.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. And then they start sharing their dream. They had the same dream. It's like, oh my God, you got to go.
Yeah, she's sitting there the whole conversation. Like once he figures out it's Terrence Mann.
Yeah.
The whole conversation. Whole time. She's like.
Been holding on to that.
Yeah. Well, and she's like, what does that have to do with baseball? Like she keeps asking him that question. Cool, big deal. What does that have to do with baseball? Like she says that a million times. And then when he starts talking about Fenway.
And then she talks about the green monster, yeah.
And you were there with Terrence Mann. I'm like, what kind of info are you holding on to here?
Yeah. But
come on, Annie.
But I will say this. If for somebody who's had weird dreams, and sometimes you don't see the forest for the trees until it comes off your lips.
Sure.
And you say it, then you're like, oh.
Sure.
But
so you're thinking the dream just came to her in that moment.
She just reminded her.
I hope so. Because for years, even as a kid, I was like, why are you holding out?
Well, that's the same with Terrence Mann.
Yeah.
Go the distance. You heard that?
Yes.
You saw that? Now you're going to say something?
Yeah. What did I hear? It's like, dude, why didn't you say anything?
Yeah.
Making me feel crazy over here.
Right. That kind of goes back to what I was saying about him being he's so unpredictable. Like you think he's done with him and he's going, there's parting ways, and then he hops in the van. He didn't get no clothes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And guy was reported missing and didn't call nobody.
Yeah. Which I love that scene where he's like, I need to call my dad. And then he like looks at the phone like, what am I going to say? I love that. Love that. All right. So let's get deep into it. This is kind of going to what you were saying a second ago.
Okay.
Where do you think Terrence went? And he said he was going to write about it and tell Ray all about it.
Okay.
You think where do you think he went? And do you think he ever comes back?
So he sure believed he was coming back.
Sure.
I've not watched anything or heard anybody say this.
Sure.
But there's a lot of folks that believe in purgatory.
Sure.
And
you think that's where they were kind of going to, like an in-between?
I think they were alluding to that.
Yeah. And you and I don't believe in purgatory, but for the sake of this movie, that's what you think this movie was alluding to.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that. And it was kind of a weird purgatory because like the one guy mentions, I haven't, he says something about wearing the same uniform that he hadn't worn in, I don't know what, 60 years. And then Ray said something about, you must stay in great shape. He's like, well, I haven't had a cigarette in, I guess, 18 years because he died 18 years before that. He's like, you wouldn't, and I love that line. Well, you got any on you? You wouldn't happen to have one on you, would you? You wouldn't have to smoke or whatever he says. But it was like this weird, like they could just go back and forth. And that kind of leads into my next question is like, do you think they ran a schedule here, like the ball players? Or do you think sometimes Ray would just wake up at 2 a.m. and they're just out there playing?
Yeah, I don't know. But it leads me to my question for you.
Okay.
What ball players do you wish they would have had out there?
Okay, so I've hang on to that. Hang on to that. Keep that in the pocket. Keep that in the pocket. Because like when we're talking about like charging people to come watch.
Yes.
So you would have had to have a schedule for that though.
Sure.
Right?
No.
Which one cool thing about that scene. So the very end of it. Did you already see this? This is really neat. So the very end of it, the entire town of, I think it's called Dyersville, Iowa. The entire town agreed to a blackout. So the whole town got in on this. So
they put their headlights?
They put their headlights on and they would just flash their high beams to make it look like cars were moving. So no cars were actually moving in that scene.
Right.
So they were just like, but that's such cool 1989 practical effects and working with what you have.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you didn't tell me that, I would have never noticed that.
Right. That's
Like,
true.
and it's such an impactful scene,
Oh, yeah.
and so I looked this up. They said they would pay $20, right? That's what Terrence said. People will pay $20 and they'll be happy to pay it. They will hand it over gladly, or whatever he says. Now, that'd be $52 now.
Mm-hmm.
But think about this bargain that you're getting.
Oh, yeah.
So,
See, childhood legends.
in an 8,000 seat stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And listen to this. So, these were 70 years removed from, you led me right into my next thought. So, these were 70 years removed from the 1919 Black Sox scandal.
Mm-hmm.
So, those legends. So, I looked up who would be the legends now that were 70 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And these are just the cream of the crop. There's plenty more. We're just touching on, but you got Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays. I mean, is this not insane?
Yeah.
Stan Musial, Ted Williams, Hank Aaron, Yogi Berra.
So half of those players you just named were already dead in 1989. Why weren't they there?
Right.
You know, that's
Right.
that was the point I was making. Like Mantle had already died, and DiMaggio had already died.
They may have showed up in different games later. Now, I think they were kind of sticking to their era, because that's why he mentions Ty Cobb.
Yeah.
So they maybe they had different levels of purgatory, like this is the 1920 players' purgatory.
That's a fair point.
I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
I mean,
right?
when you're dealing with something that isn't real, you kind of make up the rules as you go.
That's true.
Because all their uniforms matched
They did.
that era.
Their equipment was all the same.
The glove, which is so cool to see it in action, and the uniforms.
You ever wore one of those gloves?
Oh,
Tried to catch a ball with it?
no, I couldn't imagine.
It's like using an oven mitt.
I know
There's no padding.
well, the uniforms, I've seen those like in museums.
Yes.
Like in the Braves, our team, I mean, they have like a really cool museum that honors like all the way back to because it's the Braves are one of the longest running franchises.
Correct.
And so when you go back, like they have a lot of those old uniforms in their like in their own museum. Yeah. And those uniforms look so heavy.
They're wool, right?
Yes, they're
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like I couldn't imagine. And they played all day games then.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was before they had lots.
Or heating and air.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they were tougher than we are now.
Well, and that the way they traveled was on train. Like he even makes that reference.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you seen the train car in Atlanta?
Yeah. So cool.
That is cool.
So cool. So last question before we get to some competitions here. Should there have been a sequel? Karen had the gift.
Well, they could have made a whole sequel about Terrence Mann.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like I think they could have made a sequel with a bunch of people in this.
Well, I'm just saying, like him writing a book about and
right, like what he saw.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I would have loved like now, like maybe 10 years ago, when Karen would have been like mid-30s.
Mm-hmm.
If they'd made a sequel then. And like maybe her and her dad fell apart because he went crazy after this. Like something like that. Like it happened again. So, something to that effect. And they're hitting volleyball back and forth or something. I don't know, whatever she got into, or playing softball.
Yeah.
Whatever she got into. It would have just been an interesting sequel, because we see like Karen had the gift. She saw Ray really quick.
Mm-hmm.
She's the first one that saw, not Ray, Joe.
Yeah.
She saw Joe Jackson first.
Yeah.
Now the only thing she didn't have was she didn't hear the voice the first time it said anything.
Right. It's true.
But, maybe you develop that gift later on in life, But, all right. So, how mad do you think Moonlight was when he walks off? Archie walks off the field, turns into old man Graham, old Doc Graham. And then all it takes is a little pat on the back because she's choking on a hot dog.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I walked out for this? Anybody could have patted her on the back.
Well, so I don't think he was all that mad. He even had he said the real tragedy is if I wasn't a doctor.
Sure.
So,
oh man, good call.
So yeah, it's such a class, and it's such foreshadowing to that moment.
Yeah.
And that's why you have me on.
Yeah, selfish me is just like, man, I'd be so ticked. Now, if something was really wrong, then yes, y'all, I want my doctor's side to jump in.
But he got to do the thing he wanted to do. He
Yeah.
got an RBI. He didn't, he didn't he didn't stretch a double into a triple or
Right.
hug the bag.
Right.
He didn't do that, but he helped his team.
Sure.
He got a pat on the back.
Sure.
And even after, Shoeless Joe says, "You did good, kid," sort of thing. I would say all that validated all that anyway, but I think he was. He actually said, "You were good." Is
Sure.
what he said.
Yeah.
He said, "You were good," which is better than "you did good."
Yeah.
Especially coming from somebody like him.
Sure.
So I don't know. I think that being unselfish is just who the guy was.
Yeah.
So I don't think he was that mad about it.
Yeah.
Now,
I'd have been mad.
Now, if I was the manager of the team, I'm like, I got this rookie that's going to be good. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. And we have no, like, this is eternity. We have no time limit. This kid's going to stay a prospect forever.
That's right.
That's funny. All right. So, best supporting actor Oscar moment. So if you're going to, if you are the director or the writer of this movie and you're going to submit one of these actors to the Academy Awards as the best supporting actor, which one would you submit? And I'll give like their scenes that kind of showed off their skills. Okay,
go ahead.
So you've got Amy Madigan at the PTA meeting.
Okay.
Like that was her big moment. I love you had two 50s and skipped right on to the 70s when she's arguing with a lady. You had James Earl Jones, and I wrote down one of his speeches, and I love it. They'll watch the game, and it'll be as if they dip themselves in magic waters.
Yeah, so that's the or baseball has handled
the one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball.
It's not even my favorite line from him.
No, but it's the best speech.
It's great.
Him and his wife thought that speech would be cut. Like they joked about, like that was his scene.
Yeah,
like that was his moment in the movie, and he joked with her like, "I bet they're gonna cut it."
Yeah. So I think the scene at his house,
sure,
is my scene. No matter what else you say,
sure. I just wanted to go with a monologue.
Yeah,
I was just trying to go with his monologue, and then I loved Burt Lancaster's "That's My Wish" speech.
Yes.
Oh
no, that's great.
Oh yeah, to run the bases, stretch a double into a triple, and flop face first and third. Wrap your arms around the bag. That's my wish, Ray Kinsella. And then like, can you make it come true or something like that?
That's a great scene. Too.
Yeah. It is.
And he's like, maybe I can.
Yeah. Oh, you could tell like he walked onto the set that day. Burt Lancaster did. Was like, this is my day.
Yeah. Yes.
Step aside, kids. Yeah.
That's a great one.
Yeah. And then the whole Ray Liotta, I've heard old men wake up and scratch itchy legs that have been dust for over 50 years. And he talks about the cool of the grass and.
Oh yeah. He had some great lines.
But so if you have to nominate one of the four of them, you've got Madigan, you've got Jones, Lancaster, or Liotta. Who are you putting up for your award?
Oh, it's definitely James Earl Jones.
100%. Like not even a question. Like the other three are great, and they're obviously great actors.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Jones all the way.
Yeah.
All right. So, best quote, and you are welcome to add any that I miss. Moonlight. Graham. We just don't recognize the most significant moments of our lives while they're happening.
Mm-hmm.
Great quote.
Great quote.
Yeah. Joe. Not if you don't get near the plate. Not if you get it near the plate, we don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
When Ray asks him, don't we need a catcher?
Yes.
Love that.
That's a great line.
Love that line. Then Terrence says, it's not my fault you wouldn't play catch with your father. And then the quote of the movie, Dad, you want to have a catch?
Yeah.
Which is the one that will just like boom.
Oh yeah, dude. Waterworks, man.
And so well acted by Costner.
Yeah.
Because the voice shakes.
Yeah.
Like he put the shake in the voice.
Mm-hmm. And he went from calling him John to Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which always, it doesn't weird me out, but it just like it. I'm so glad they included that one little dad instead of John walking away.
Yeah.
And you don't get that full closure as the viewer.
Sure.
of no, like, did he just know that was his son?
Right. Exactly.
You know, and that was his granddaughter and his daughter-in-law. Like, did he know that he was seeing his son's family
Right.
that he doesn't get to see later on? You know,
Right.
so like the moment that brought in, amazing. Like just that, if they leave that out, if he just says you want to have a catch.
Well, and that conversation too also makes me wonder if they were in purgatory.
Sure.
Because he says this is heaven.
Right. No, it's Iowa. Both of them asked that. Shoeless Joe asks that,
Right.
which was weird to me because Shoeless Joe seemed in on it
Right.
from the get-go.
Right.
Like I actually felt like that question from him didn't fit.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Because Shoeless Joe walks up the very first time, right to the gravel and stops. And, you know, they invite him in and he's like, no, I don't think I can. I think he knew he couldn't.
Yeah.
You know, and he was, to me, he was like the perpetrator for this whole thing.
But then he asked, I think it's his dad or Joe. It's one
Yeah.
of the two. I confuse the conversations, but he's like, oh, I've seen heaven.
Sure. Yeah, the dad.
The dad. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, yeah, that's why I think they kind of alluded that must be purgatory.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and Ray realizes he's in heaven on earth,
Yes.
you know, because he looks around, sees his wife, sees his daughter,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he's getting to have that moment with his dad. I mean, that's his heaven on earth. You
Absolutely.
know, we're not going to get super deep on it. Obviously, that's not heaven.
Right.
Yeah, that is not heaven. We want to be clear about that. But if you want to talk about heaven on earth, like for a lot of us, that is our heaven on earth. You know, like our families are.
Absolutely.
And so like Ray seeing that, you know, was awesome. Like just could not have made the moment any better.
Mm-hmm.
Like from an acting point of view, from a directing point of view.
Yeah, it was great.
You know, yeah. Yeah. Beaver's misty over here, guys. All right. So you got one van to drive cross country.
Mm-hmm.
You've either got the hippie mobile from this, the VW bus, which was such a great touch.
Yeah.
You got the mystery machine, Scooby Doo's. You've got the mutt cut, the sheepdog from Dumb and Dumber. Or you've got the A-Team van. You get to pick one of those and you're taking a cross-country trip like they just did.
Well, for the movie, I think the Vita Bug is perfect because he was a hippie from
Yeah.
Berkeley. Always wanted to own the A-Team van.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool. So that's when you're going with the A-Team van. Mutt cuts all the way.
Yeah, I know.
Like I almost didn't even include it because it's such an obvious answer for me.
I knew that was yours.
I know, that's why I almost didn't even put it in there. If I was going with the number 2, which is where it would be the A-Team van. Like so cool.
That's funny.
So cool. All right. Most annoying quote. If you're Ray, most annoying quote. Because we have to talk about the three statements that the voice makes. So if you're Ray, if you build it, he will come. Ease his pain.
Mm-hmm.
Or go the distance. Which one is where you're like, no.
The go the distance.
100%.
So cryptic.
Yeah.
What?
Well, yeah, he just went to Boston
Yeah.
to get Terrence.
Right.
Like he drove from Iowa to Boston and they have no money.
Mm-hmm.
Like he even said, like, I'll sleep in the car. You know, which was always an interesting choice to me, a wardrobe choice. That, you know, he's wearing a leather jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And then he throws on a tie to go meet Terrence. I thought that was kind of cool. Like it was such an 80s moment.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Better dress it up a little bit.
Right.
About to go meet a legend.
Right.
But I don't know if you noticed that, but yeah.
100%.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that would have been the one. That would have been the one when I'm sitting at the game and it says go the distance. Where I'm like, voice, you gotta be kidding me. Like,
Well, then it flashes up all the Moonlight Graham stuff.
Right.
And then those two things seem completely unrelatable.
100%. Well, and Terrence even says that. Because he's like, you know, you're making a reckoning or a penance for your dad's hero. You know, so the whole movie, you think like Ray's whole goal or Ray's whole purpose is bringing back Shoeless Joe. They're
Right.
leading you towards that. Like
Yeah.
they're kind of smoke and mirrors, tricking you that that's his purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And then you figure out that Archie's or Moonlight or Doc, whatever, his purpose is getting it back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, getting to realize his dream.
Right.
And Terrence is sitting there like, you know, what's my purpose here? You know, which is such a cool
Well,
moment.
they're all realizing their dream.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the point.
Yeah, he didn't know that. He didn't know that was coming
yeah,
up.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. And feel free to include anything you got here.
Okay.
Favorite scene, and then we're going to go to Rushmore.
Okay.
All right. And I love this. I've alluded to it quite a few times. Just the whole explaining baseball to Karen and the building of the field scene. Like the whole montage of him building the field, explaining baseball to his child. Like, I love all that. And the questions she asks, it's just such innocent questions, such great, and he's talking about the Black Sox tour, just the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I love that part. As a dad, like when I was a kid, probably wouldn't have noticed it, but as a dad, and then you've got the first scene with Shoeless Joe. You've got what you've talked about quite a few times, the first scene with Terrence.
Mm-hmm.
You got the baseball game with Archie Graham's at bat. When he finally gets
Mm-hmm.
the sacrifice fly, just the whole wink at the pitcher and, kid, I wouldn't, what was the warning that the ump gave him?
Oh,
Watch.
Don't wink at him, kid.
That's my warning. Yeah. The brother-in-law knocking Karen off and Doc being the only one that knows how to pat her back.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to mention that again. That annoys me. This kid's choking. Or playing catch with dad while people are starting to pull up. Like you see the whole line of cars.
Right.
And you feel free to add any that I missed.
So the scene where they're looking at the obituary of
okay,
that's a great scene.
Yeah, it is.
It's a great scene.
It is.
And like Kevin Costner is interviewing those people in the town, and they're talking about Doc Graham and just how well loved he was. That's so this whole movie's about legacy, right?
Sure.
So that they kind of go into that of all the good deeds how good a dude he was and how he was an unsung hero, and so that's
found his purpose. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So that's probably one of my favorites. But the scene of them driving down the road and he's talking about his dad, the Terrence Mann, and why he and he's like, so why did you quit throwing with your dad? And he's like, I read the Boat Rocker. And he's like, I feel like that was a natural. I know it was scripted, but there was some real natural reaction. From James Earl Jones.
Yeah, well, he's just that good of an actor. Both of them are. I mean, those are all great scenes, and like we talked about, it's hard to pick a favorite scene in this movie because there's just not a wasted minute. My actual favorite scene is probably the first introduction when Shoeless Joe shows up.
Yeah.
Like they somehow made 5 minutes seem like 9 months.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I love that scene, but the first scene with Terrence, because it has to be a scene that is with James Earl Jones, just because he's probably one of my favorite parts of this movie.
Absolutely.
So the first scene with him, or when he pulls around, Moonlight Graham, what did I see, Ray? The whole thing. But yeah, loved it.
That's great.
Loved it. All right. So we're going to go Mount Rushmore of baseball movies.
Okay.
Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I'll read mine off.
Okay.
Let's see, I don't know how many I got here. I got 8 or 10.
All right. So we're doing baseball movie, Mount Rushmore.
League of Their Own.
Great movie.
Sandlot. Major League. Moneyball.
Are these on the outside looking in?
Yes.
This is a good outside in. Yeah.
Little Big League.
Sure.
You ain't even seen that movie.
Never seen it once.
It's such a great time capsule. I'm going to plug this movie. It's also got Timothy Busfield in it, which if you know who he is, you know who he is. But
he's the brother-in-law in this.
He's the brother-in-law, but he's this is a great movie. It's a great baseball movie. And if you're a kid of the 90s, of the great baseball players, they're all Barry Bonds.
I still need to watch it. I need to watch it.
Randy Johnson, all those guys are in it. 8 Men Out. All those are on the outside.
That's a good outside looking in. Like that means you got some good ones up there at the top.
Okay, so far right, For Love of the Game.
Okay.
Didn't make yours, did it? I know it did.
Didn't even make my outside looking in. Just kidding, it did.
The Natural.
Yeah. That one did not make my outside looking in.
I figure these two in the middle.
The natural so it's one of those movies that I would love to tighten up. It feels so long. Like when I sit down to watch it.
I wish they would remake it.
Yeah.
Could
but you know what I'm
so
saying?
much better if they did
That's what I'm saying. Like the story of it's incredible. Robert Redford's incredible. Duvall's incredible. Like the whole movie is awesome. I love the movie, but it just moves for me so slow.
Well, it's got that Midwestern vibe to it.
Yeah.
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 So, and then Field of Dreams.
Sure.
And 61.
Nice. It's a great list.
And so
what were your 4 again? 61.
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
Natural. And For Love of the Game.
Yeah. That's a great list. So Costner made 2 of them.
Costner made 2 of them.
Yeah.
I don't even have Bull Durham on my top 10.
Bull Durham didn't make mine either.
It's great. I love
awesome.
it. It's just
I told you, baseball movies are some of the best movies.
Yeah.
They have somehow figured out how to make baseball movies the best ones.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my outside looking in. 42's on the outside looking in. Love that movie.
It was a great movie.
Yeah. For Love of the Game is on the outside looking in. I know that's in your Rushmore.
Let me ask you a question about that movie. Is that a movie, if it's you walk by the TV and it's on, can you just...
I can't walk away.
I can't walk away.
Yeah.
Ever.
It would make my Kelly Preston Mount Rushmore.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah.
I feel like that the movies that make your Rushmore are those movies that if you see them, you're not going to walk away.
But all of these are that way. Like, you know what
not all of them are
so
like it for me.
A League of Their Own is on my outside looking. I don't walk away from A League of Their Own.
Yeah.
If I walk up and Marla Hooch is about to bat, I'm in. Marla Hooch. Hardball is on my outside looking in. I know you still haven't seen that one. It's time. It's time. Because they're going to the ship.
Yeah.
They're going to the ship. Like, I love that movie. Fever Pitch.
It was a great movie.
Yeah. And it's one of those, like, I know what I love. It's a guilty pleasure movie.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not one of the best baseball movies. I totally get that.
Right.
But I miss when Jimmy Fallon actually acted and not just did the Tonight Show.
Right.
And I love him and Drew Barrymore's chemistry in that movie.
It's good.
Let's see, what else did I leave off here? So I've said that one. I got out of order a little bit. Sorry. And here's another one. This was the hardest one for me to leave off of my top 4. Bad News Bears, the Walter Matthau. I watched that movie so many times.
I've seen it a lot as a kid.
It was so good. Like, I love that movie. So that's the end of my, like, didn't make it into my top 4. So the top 4, you can probably guess a few of them. Right. And this one eked its way in over the past few years, which is Moneyball. Yeah. Like, it would.
No, Moneyball's one I watch. If it's on, I watch it.
Yeah. I mean, but like I said, it's made its way in there.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't in there before, but it made its way in there.
And I know it's a movie, so you shouldn't knock them for this.
Sure.
After I found out that the whole David Justice scene was just a made up scene that never happened.
Sure.
That pulled it back.
True stories can be tough.
Yeah.
Like, they can be tough. Field of Dreams is based on, I'm just playing. So that leads me to the Field of Dreams is on my Rushmore.
Yep.
For all the right reasons, right? Like, it's just a great baseball movie. The way it talks about baseball, because baseball truly
romantic. Dude.
It is.
Yeah.
And it lives off of nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for whatever reason, I could watch a regular season, like the 70th game of the year.
Yep.
I could watch that over an NFL playoff game. And I know I'm in the minority, but I love watching baseball. Like, I can't wait for it to start. It's about to start up, which is why we're doing. Actually, by the time this comes out, we'll be like 3 days into the season. So I'm a happy camper.
Yeah.
By the time you listen to this, I'm a happy guy. But then you've got The Sandlot.
Yeah.
Is in my top 4. And then the number 1 for me, like the absolute number 1, like with a rocket, is Major League. Like, there's no way I'm leaving Pedro Serrano or Willie Mays Hayes out of it.
61 didn't even make your top 10.
Didn't even make my top 10. That's how loaded baseball movies are. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's,
I get it.
Like, if we did a top 25, it would make it. And the crazy thing is, though, if you did a top 100 of my movies, probably 30 of them are going to be baseball movies. Does that make sense? But like, when I'm having to narrow down just for baseball movies, like those will be my top 4. Yeah. And Major League, I was so excited the other day because I haven't watched it with my 13-year-old because it has so much language in it.
Right.
But I did notice the other day, like, I recorded it, came on CMT, and it's fully edited. So I'm like, it's on. like he's going to get to watch it this year.
Yeah.
So, it's exciting times. It's very exciting. He'll get to see Pedro Serrano doing his thing. Joe Boo. Yeah. Very bad to steal Joe Boo's rum.
Yeah.
Perfect. Anything Field of Dreams wise that we missed?
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we covered it. I feel like we covered it.
Yep.
What to you? Last question. What's to you when you watched this last night? What's the point of this movie?
The point of this movie, for me.
Yeah, you could, by the quotes, you could take 1,000 different things.
So I think so. Baseball. So you hit the nail on the head about it being romantic, but it's that commonality among men.
Yeah.
And so that was the common ground that he had with his father.
Sure.
And it was the common ground that he was creating with his daughter.
Yeah.
And his family.
Yeah.
Even the brother-in-law, who was a jerk, was like,
yeah.
You can't sell this field, you know. And so it's baseball, and the whole thing is, it was that baseball was the center of this thing where people were bonding over their dreams, whatever their dreams is. And so for me, for somebody who's experienced reconciliation with my own dad,
sure,
and baseball's the thing we've always bonded over and talked about, is dude, and I'm telling you, dude, it was the waterworks watching that. And I was like, oh God, I'm such a sissy.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
but
funny.
but yeah, so I just think that no matter what it is, there's common ground.
Yeah.
There's common things to bond over, and there's common passions. And no matter how different you are than somebody else, you can find something to bond over. And baseball's one of those good things you can do that with.
Oh, so one of the things I love about baseball, it's my favorite sport, if you can't tell. Yeah. So one of the things I love about baseball is it's the one sport you can watch and you can miss 15 minutes and come back and nothing may have happened. Like you didn't miss anything. You know, I love that.
Right.
You can have a conversation while watching a baseball game and still be there for every single pitch, every single play.
Yeah.
Whereas in like football and other sports, sometimes if you miss the second quarter, you have no idea what happened that whole game.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. And one of the things we experienced when we went to Cincinnati that time is the other fans were super nice to us, and you have conversations with them. I can't say that's that way at all ballparks, but
yeah, I've never been to a Phillies game. Still nervous.
Yeah, I wouldn't go.
I'm going to go. Yeah. I'll go incognito. I'm not wearing a Braves hat.
Wear a Phillies hat
or
something.
Yeah. I'll just go to a non-Phillies Braves game. I'm going to go watch the Phillies and somebody else.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
But like, you know, even at the Braves game, if whoever the visiting team, we try to make them feel, well, hey, I'm glad you came out. You know, and so it's that commonality of, there's just a lot of commonality.
Terrence's speech, baseball. I think the same. I think it's just like this. Like you can take so many points from this movie.
Yeah.
You know, like Moonlight Graham says the thing about, you know, you just don't realize life's moments when they're right in front of you.
Oh yeah.
You know, somebody could take that and that could be the whole point of the movie for them.
Yeah.
You know, but for me, it was is this heaven? No, it's Iowa. And then Dad explains heaven. And he's like, maybe this is heaven.
Right.
You know, and again, we're not being blasphemous here. We're talking about heaven on earth.
Sure.
You know, and then looking around and just being grateful for everything that's around you.
Right.
You know, that was the point for me this time. Now, I may watch it in 6 months and it's a whole different thing. But, you know, grateful for where I'm at the moment would be the point of, you know, this movie right now. And if this movie doesn't make you want to go like play a game of catch with your dad, then you know.
Well, and you know, and the risk reward aspect of this movie.
Sure.
Like he took a big risk doing all that with no idea that there would be a reward.
Yeah.
He just had to do it.
Yeah.
But he did it. And then, you know.
Oh, I mean, everybody was treating him like they did Noah in the Bible.
Right.
Like they're all lining up and seeing like, this guy's crazy. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But perfect. Anything else?
Thank you for
this was fun. This was a fun one, man. This was a fun one.
The podcast was as long as the movie, was it?
Oh, we're a few minutes shorter. Guys, thank you for listening. Again, promo code MoviePick1215 on VidAngel. Thank you for listening.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to bump us up in the algorithms. You can send my dad any suggestions of movies you'd like for him to cover at themoviepick@aol.com. Thank you for listening.